So the true cost of love comes down to the idea that when I have a friend or a family member, then I'm more likely to hire them over someone else, someone who might be more qualified or uh, anything like this. And sometimes we don't even need that person because we have enough people, but we need to actually, we're trying to feed them too. And the cost of this comes down and is interesting because the cost of it all, when it adds up, becomes this insurmountable amount of money. Uh, because I have a wage of $15 per hour, and then that gets tacked onto either a food price or a price of a product, and it just keeps on going down and down. Um, and by the time that we have these wage increases, which become inflation, then it ends up being too much for our elderly or those who don't have jobs, who can't find jobs, those who are disabled, and just eventually becomes this burden on society. And this is the cost of love. And it's something that we don't actually look at. We're literally costing people money, and we're starving people because we love so much. But is it time to actually understand true love, where we level the playing field for once and make sure that everyone has a basic food income, where I can actually say, if my daughters or myself or any of my family members get a certain amount of healthy food allotted to them every month, and then anything like above and beyond, that's what they have to work for. It would be something where no one goes hungry. Could you imagine a year where no one goes hungry? We produce 1.5 times the amount of food that is needed to feed the world. But the issue is waste. Uh, each person in Canada wastes 75 kilograms of food per year. On top of this, it just comes down to these insurmountable numbers where the logistics of getting food to third world countries ends up being too costly to actually bring food to the actual starved. Like, could you imagine where uh, we literally make it too expensive to feed the poor? Sad. When we have the technology, we can bring growing opportunities to everyone, make these things local. We have fruit walls that were invented in the 1600s. We have fruit trenches that Siberia was growing fruit in -20 weather. And now we have technology like vertical gardens. Uh, as I said, I'm from Alberta. And in Alberta, there's two places. There's the Coliseum in Edmonton, the Rogers Place, a new one. And within the Rogers Place, per year, we can grow 138 million pounds of food per year. Could you imagine that? It's not 2 million tons that Canada imports per year, but it still takes a large chunk out of what we need to actually feed those who are going hungry. Right now in the COVID crisis, we're worried about losing our houses and losing our places that we call home. Let's stop the economy and just start growing food and go back to Canada or a world that doesn't isn't worried about viruses because healthy. Like you look at these Olympic stadiums that we build for a month or two of use, and then they go into disrepair because there's no use for them. They're perfect for building these huge vertical gardens, and we could build around this where whenever an Olympic tournament comes to an area, then we can actually build this great massive vertical garden afterwards, and that's the prize that we all win, where we can start producing for people who can't produce for themselves. And if they ever need to go back to the out for the Olympics, then we take the vertical gardens down, and then the world provides for that area for that period of time that the Olympics are held. And just be truly something amazing where we all are able to eat. And when we're all able to eat and we're not hangry, maybe there wouldn't be as much hate. Maybe there wouldn't be as much fighting. Maybe there would be a little bit more peace in our hearts and our